What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Wednesday, May 19th to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. A middling Tuesday for me. 6-6 down 1 unit. It was an ugly day in NBA. 0-2 down 2.30 units. Lost badly on the LaMelo Ball prop. Lost badly on the Hornets money line. 5-4 plus 0.30 units in MLB. Disappointing. I thought I was in line for a nice day. And 1-0 plus 1 unit, easily cashing the under 5.5 in Vegas, Minnesota. And my day was middling. But TAINT play of the day goes to 20-11 Cardinals money line. Freshest look, our Dutch boy Freshest play of the day. Westbrook over 12.5 rebounds, got 14. I know a lot of you guys had to get in on at 13 and 13.5, so it's still cashed for everyone. David Summers, our guy David Summers, he put out his entire action for the first time out on Twitter. He went 7-2. There was a lot of winning going on. The chat was fire as always. And it's playoff time, baby. We have a beautiful Wednesday card to attack. Shout out to all the cappers joining us in the chat right now. Up early, we got J.A. giving us his looks. Connecticut Suns, St. Louis first 5, San Francisco first 5, Lakers first half, Avalanche, Dodgers for our J.A. There's our guy Jacksonville Zoe. Says NBA was bad yesterday, but I had a great night in NHL. Attaboy, Jacksonville Zoe. I know a ton of you guys were on Vegas, so absolutely great work there. Great work. It was an exciting night. And today's going to be even more exciting. We have Warriors, Lakers. I mean, the game that everybody wants to see is on tonight. And our razor sharp picks will be starring this thoroughbred handicapping show, but they'll be live betting basketball. So I heard Dutch boy Fresh will be making an appearance on the Big Horse Show. I will be on as well because Emerald Downs, Wednesday night racing. Emerald Downs doesn't start till 9 p.m. Eastern, and it's a track that is near and dear to my heart. So I will be, as soon as I get the kids down to bed, I'll be jumping on that show. So, and I'll be able to put some time in and destroy the Emerald Downs card while watching NBA and NHL playoffs. I'm very excited. There's Christopher Gargaro. Says finished the middling 10-9 yesterday, even money wise. 2 good early hitter props. Cronenworth and Grisham from the Padres, both on good streaks. And we got Gonzalez. Chichi Gonzalez allows 329 average to left-handed batters. Gargaro, great job yesterday, Christopher. He gave us a Winker prop, and that cashed in the first inning. There's Chris Drobny just playing Lakers. Grizz money line. It's funny. I mean, on the Raw Mike Richards, I got it at 3.5 and 4.5 at -110. I bet it after the show, so I got the Grizzlies sadly at -4 at -110, and the Lakers -4.5 at -115. Lakers are now at 5.5. I'm having a terrible year in NBA, and it's, this is my 4th year publicly putting out every bet in front of you guys. And the first 3 years were glorious double-digit years in NBA. This has not been one of them, and it's just getting worse. And I look at these two spots, and I understand that there's a coaching advantage for the Spurs, but I just feel like the Grizzlies and Lakers are a spot. And when I feel that way, it makes me nervous because of what a tough year I've had in NBA. But I'm with you, Chris. It seems like the look. We got Max on record. We got Turnsy 66. Great to see you, Turnsy, and Max on record. And Bleds W. Wyatt Chapman. There he is. Maddie, I started TAINT play today, and Maddie was right. I had the record wrong for TAINT play of the day. And it's because I think part of the reason why, because I don't, I come from the Low Shack school of record keeping, and I feel like I don't make mistakes. And Peter used to say that he never makes mistakes, and I feel like I don't make mistakes. But the TAINT isn't in my spreadsheets because everybody gets it at a different price point. And so, it's not my spreadsheets. We just track it, by hand here. And it was my fault. So he is now at 20-11. He did come into yesterday at 19-11. When I said 18-11, I was wrong. And Matty Ice was right. Puzzler in the house says, I was a bit startled to hear that San Antonio just finished above 500 road games for the 21st consecutive season. Make of that what you will. They were an excellent road team again this year. And, it just, from a player personnel perspective, it just feels like the Grizzlies are quite a bit stronger. And now that you got JV back from the health and safety protocols, I mean, the guy had 49 double-doubles this year. Jakob Poeltl can't mess with him. I mean, who's going to – I just feel DeJuan Murray is very talented, sophisticated, tough point guard. So he might be able to slow down Ja a little bit, but there's just too many weapons on the Grizzlies. But again, I've just had such a bad year in NBA that I almost don't trust myself. There's Sean Dozier ready to get to work. Life of Von Polo in the house. Life of Von Polo says Caps. I also just saw that our NHL capper Birdie, all over the Caps again. I have futures on the Caps, and I'm not going to make any bets on this series at this point, unless I see a huge advantage. I am concerned with the goaltending situation. Even though Craig Anderson has looked quite good, I am concerned. JR ready to get to work. And Matty Ice, yes, fresh taint. Matty Ice brought up the fresh taint parlay yesterday, plus 265 casher. JA ready to go. Shauno, Guillermo Zertucci in the house. My guy, Guillermo, he'll be on the Thoroughbred show this evening. Let's get it. David Sharp, big day yesterday. Up 7 units MLB. Props are on fire now. Dirty K prop 23-9. Attaboy, David Sharp. It was a thing of beauty. David Sharp cashed his Blake Snell prop in the third inning. Ilya Katz ready to go. Alex Ramirez in the house. There's Champino. We haven't seen Champino of late. Nice. And Coco Bongo. My guy Coco Bongo ready to go. Stu Boo. Thank you guys all for joining us. Dennis Garcia. He'll be on the Thoroughbred show as well this evening. Viper. Steve Priest. Sean says Lakers smack City tonight. I understand why this total has gone down. I think it's probably pretty sharp number at 218. But at 221 or wherever it opened at for you, the under was the spot. The Czar, great call on the Aces and the Knights. Great call on both. Jared JP, Lee Federchak ready to go. Michael Irvelina says, I can't believe the White Sox blew it last night. It was disappointing. I did cash with them on the first 5, thankfully, so it wasn't. And I had to rebet it with the pitching change. I had to rebet it at like 6:15 at night. Tron Hopkins here, ready to go. Eric Jones. And TJ, our guy, who is another a prop killer, K-prop killer as well. He was talking about how I'm kind of lazy in MLB in the way where if there's a pitching change, my bet's automatically voided. But he goes in and he sets it up. So he had it set up where if Pineda was substituted, that all he needed was Lance Lynn to be pitching, and the bet went. So that was a very smart way of doing it. It didn't succeed for him in that spot, but it makes a ton of sense. Slots45 says 3-1-1 NHL tail taint and Jimmy's Tampa pick. Well, you know what? I mean, I didn't move on the Tampa pick. I didn't bet on the Tampa pick. I was concerned about whether Drieger was going to go. When Drieger went, there was no move. The only one bet for me yesterday in NHL was that under in Vegas Wild. But I'm happy that us talking about all the different spots and how we plan on attacking things succeeded for you. Canes regulation, Oilers minus 155, Avs, Canes moneyline parlay, got to roll, catch up later. Much love, Slatsy. It's beautiful in Montreal now. I'm happy that you guys got the heat there. And Slats45 says I wouldn't want to be Jose today. No, come on. Look, I don't want to put too much pressure on my young son. And Jose did not get off to a flying start, but let's not put too much pressure on the young man. I want to see him succeed. I don't want him to fear coming onto the show. I don't want him to fear giving out picks. I want him to succeed in glorious fashion. Now, that didn't happen on day one. And he knows that you guys are my friends, family, and colleagues, and that it's extremely important that he doesn't embarrass me and lose his job. So he knows what's at stake. Billy Brisbane in the house, ready to get to work. All right, it is time to do exactly that. We got Rob, Torrey, LA, and Memphis moneyline boosted to plus 170. Even that scares me. There's Nilo in the house. Sorry, I'm like, no problem, buddy. No problem, Nilo. I hope you can jump on the stream with us tonight. It's going to be a lot of fun. There he is. Razor Sharp Picks in the house. Is another NBA winner. but lost in MLB. That'll happen. And Razor Sharp Picks, big thoroughbred show, and the live NBA betting. That's tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. Sammy loving the cards. So do I. Okay, let's get right to work. And David Sharp says, do I get my credit for the Lynn K prop? I told you can't run a guy when he just went up against the same team a week prior. I've kept track of that. It's third week. It's the third week after you can play him. I agree with that. Slatsy said I meant the Rays. Okay, thank you. Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, Slatsy, my fault. Yes, I was all over the Rays. First 5 full game, but that was easy. Come on. We're just fading batted man. Harvey. What a bum. There's Kev Riley. Huge night last night. Love seeing that. He's on Dodgers -1.5, St. Louis, Houston over. Oh, that was last night. Attaboy. 6 tickets cashed up, $631. I love seeing that. There's Maxwell Smart in the house. Okay. Okay, Max, come on. What's that make you 9-2 on those props, Maxie? Birdie likes the Mantha over a half goal. Had a monster game in game 2. Wasn't rewarded for all that hard work. I believe he gets his today. He is a big piece of the puzzle. No doubt about that. The Czar said tried to warn you on the Twins yesterday. It was a big win for them. Big win for the ball club. Yenny Toon says, found your channel. Yenny Toon, welcome to Pub Sports Radio, my guy. Thank you for joining us. We got Piker in the house. There's only Cruz and Kepler with average over 200 versus Giolito. It's time to turn in a quality start for Giolito. Better team, better pen, somehow streaming toward the Twins. Well, let's get right to work. Nice to have our guy Piker in the house. Bama boy Bob Taylor. Let's go. Thank you guys all so much for joining us. There's Billy Brisbane, Joe, Rich. So yesterday in MLB, we went 5-4 plus 0.30 units. So we're still just barely keeping our head above water. It's not comforting. I don't like it. We're 107 wins, 93 losses, sitting at 53.5%, plus 0.56 units, ROI plus 0.28%. Average line still high, -112. Boston, Toronto under 9.5, casher. Tampa Bay -1, casher. Cleveland, LA Angels under 8.5 was a loser. Tampa Bay first 5, casher. Houston first 5, casher. Milwaukee first 5 -1/2 was a loser. Atlanta -1 was a loser. White Sox first 5 -1/2, casher. And White Sox -1 at -119 was a loser. All right. Let's get to work right now. There's Nate Dogg in the house. Let's go. We start at 1:10 p.m. Chicago White Sox 25-16, 11-8 on the road at the Minnesota Twins. We just had our man Piker talking about this spot. 14-26, 8-14 at home are the Twinkies. 70 Fahrenheit, overcast, 8 miles per hour sideways. We're at Target Field in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We have Lucas Giolito, a question mark so far this year. Not to be trusted so far this season. Somebody who's cost me a lot of money over the years, except for one glorious year. One glorious year where he provided for my family. Other than that, he's taken. 2-4, 4.97 ERA, 1.30 whip, 41 2/3, 50 Ks, 18 walks, 8 home runs. Last start, he went 6 innings, 5 earned runs, 2 home runs allowed, 3 walks, 7 Ks, 6 2 loss in the home, 7-inning doubleheader versus the Royals. Not good. Not good. Blood Stubby says we need an appearance from Noli. Absolutely. You know how much I love Noli Knows. I love Noli Knows. Max on record says your son's pick was a loser. What is his punishment? We don't give punishment right now. It's just one game. He's just starting out. If we start punishing the young man, it could spiral. Next thing you know, smoking meth, doing heroin, down under a bridge somewhere, making love to homeless women. Is it love or do you bang them? I'm not sure. And then, of course, fentanyl overdose. So let's just be very calm, be very relaxed, and give him the benefit of the doubt. One game. There's Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Says, hit me with your best taint. We've moved off of hip-hop. We've left the Don't Ask, Don't Tell's left hip-hop now. No. We've left hip-hop. Okay, Poker Addicted. My man Piker says he'll be Delonte West. Don't punish him. Exactly. Bob Taylor says, were you sweating that Jays under 9 last night? Yes, I was sweating it all game. Okay, Maddie Shoemaker. You know, I can't even say the word shoe without thinking. I can't even do it right. Oh, yes, here we go. Without thinking about. Oh, can't do that. Sorry. Sorry, this is just going to take a second. I can't even say the word shoe without thinking of our Boston Nick spitting in his boot and drinking it. Okay, let's get back to work, though. Let's get back to work. Here we go. Back to the comments. Here we go. Okay. Wyatt Chapman says you love a sweat hog. You know, I do. Okay, Maddie Ice says, who's ready for a huge plus money taint? We're all very, very excited. There's Earl Sports Bets in the house. Great to see you, Earl. Prince of the City says shooting heroin down under a bridge sounds like you've been to Philly. I have been to Philly, but sadly, still have never done heroin. What am I doing? What a huge mistake. Can I go through my whole life without ever doing heroin? I hope not. Shoemaker. 2-4, 6.62 ERA, 1.44 whip, 34 innings, 23 Ks, 12 walks, 10 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 5 earned runs, 3 home runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and a 6-1 loss at home versus the A's. White Sox first righties, 251, 736 OPS. Twins first righties, 240, 728 OPS. White Sox bullpen is improving and looking pretty strong right now. 3.87 ERA, 1.33 whip, converted 8 of 17 save opportunities. And here we go. The Dirty K prop is up. The Dirty K prop is up. David Sharp running hot on these. Dirty K prop of the day. Trevor Rogers over 6.5 strikeouts. Phillies striking out over 1 per inning. And they haven't seen Rogers. Why did I have in my head? For some reason in my head, I thought they'd beaten up Rogers. Yeah. I mean, 13 at bat. So they haven't seen much of him, but 7 hits in those 13 at-bats, 2 doubles and 2 homers. So they're going to be swinging for the fences against them, which may help here for you, David. I'm going to lock this in. David Sharp. I'm not going to bet it. Excuse me. I'm just going to copy and paste it right now. I'm not saying I'm not going to bet it, but I do want to look at it a little further. There's David Sharp's spot on Trevor Rogers. 30K prop of the day. And Christopher Guerrero, we don't need to apologize. We don't need to apologize. He said he faded the taint play of the day. He will never make that mistake again. Yes, if I'm ever on the other side of taint, I just don't bet it. If I just think, okay, I probably am wrong here. I'm going to be wrong most of the time, and I don't bet it. Okay, let's go back to this 1:10 p.m. spot, our afternoon DGen action here. Let's take a look at the market move for it. Here we go. Why is it not up here? Oh, yes. Sorry, there it is right there. Giolito opening up at minus 135. He's now at minus 118, a 17-cent move to the Twinkies and Shoemaker. This total opened up at 8.5. It's now moved to 9 at a pick'em. And let's see how the batter pitcher fares. Against Giolito, they're hitting 230 with a 758 OPS, 126 at-bats. 126 at-bats are 29 for 126. It's Nelson Cruz, who's 7 for 20 with 3 homers. Max Kepler, 8 for 24 with 3 homers. Against Shoemaker, they're hitting 292 with an 848 OPS. Looking back at it, I can understand why money is moved to the over. And the Twins bullpen is not to be trusted, but they looked okay. They looked okay last out. David Sharp says, I lean the over first 5, 4.5, Twins hit Giolito, and I don't like Shoemaker. Bleds W says, you never fade taint, only blindly bet it. You're right, Bleds W. You're absolutely right. Viper says the total has gone over in 4 Minnesota's last 5 games when playing the Chicago White Sox. And big news here. Big news. Famous play of the day is it. Ooh, what a ballsy play. What a ballsy play by Dutch boy Fresh. Curry under 36.5 points. I love it. They've got to keep the pace slow. Ooh, Dutchy coming off an easy winner with the Westbrook over prop rebounds last night. Oh, Dutch. What a fun bet as well. Ooh, testing Steph Curry. Wow, that is wild. The Czar agreeing with David Sharp. Says David Sharp's play is sharp today. There's Brandon Lugo in the house. Show us the path to cash. Okay, well, I can't do it on this afternoon action. And one thing I've stayed away from is the need for afternoon action. It's very difficult for me not to place a bet. I guess talking about it, I can feel my hands start leaking. But I do not feel confident here. I think the Twins are much better than their record indicates. Giolito's been a huge question mark. And Minnesota has to feel good about that win, even though they're dealing with a ton of injuries. And no move for me. White Sox. Twinkies, let's move on to 4:10 p.m. Eastern. We have the Colorado Rockies, 15-28, 2-16 on the road at the San Diego Padres, 26-17, 14-10 at home. God, that 2-16 road record just jumps out at you. 68 Fahrenheit clear, 10 miles per hour out to right field. We're at Petco Park. Move over here. Petco Park. Okay, Matty Ice is saying taint. And that the fresh taint did cash yesterday. Smith Legacy says, great look, Fresh. Who scores for GSW? I mean, it's got to be Wiggins. Wiggins is playing, better than I've seen him play in quite a long time. All right, Taint play of the day is in. I repeat, Taint play of the day is in. Rockies first 5 plus a half. But you can also get Rockies first 5 plus 1.5 at minus 140. But he's going to be on the Rockies money line. First 5 money line at plus 200. Big balls. Look at that. That's a sign of sharp abbers when you see their looks and you're like, ooh, geez. The giant testicles on these cappers. Very, very, very exciting look. So for show purposes, this is a first 5 plus a half, but he's going for the big score. By the way, Kevin Riley says Chicago White Sox bounce back big today. And Birdie says Twins, as they get healthy, will be a bet on team. And Michael Irvine said Twins have killed their bullpen the last 2 games. That's a very important point. And Dennis Garcia said I went 3-1 with season totals. Steph screwed it, refused to fade him. Though the look from Dutch makes all kinds of sense. Wow. Okay. So let me copy and paste this right now. Taint play of the day sitting at 20-11. How exciting is it to get the plays of the day from all these great sharp cappers? It's a huge, huge asset to us. All right. Let's pop this in. And this is when is this here? This game pops off at 4:10 p.m. We have Trust and Chichi Gonzalez. All right, Petco Park, San Diego, California. We've got Chichi Gonzalez, 2-1, 4.79 ERA, 1.40 whip, 35 2/3, 17 Ks, 11 walks, 3 home runs. In his last start, looked very good at home versus the Reds, a team that smashes righties. Now, one thing we know about the Reds, and David Sharp has pointed this out, and it's going to cash for us moving forward, is that the Reds who smash righties don't smash soft tossers. They smash hard throwers. And they couldn't get to Chichi. 7 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 Ks, and a 13-8 win at home versus the Reds. They were up 10-0 in the 8th inning. And then there's bullpen, of course, that Taint is staying away from. Then we have Joe Musgrove, 3-4, 2.86 ERA, 0.95 whip, 44 innings, 59 Ks, 11 walks, 6 home runs. In his last start against the Cardinals, he did not look very good. 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 4 walks, 5 Ks, and a 5-4 home win over the Cards. Rockies first righties 232, 673 OPS. Padres first righties 245, 714 OPS. Rockies bullpen 5.62 ERA, 1.60 whip. Converted 5 to 12 save opportunities. Padres bullpen much, much better. 2.64 ERA, 1.11 whip. Converted 16 of 22 save opportunities. And the Czar says 2 great picks from the Taint and Dutch, both sharp as fuck plays. Wow. And Thick Dick McGee. Okay, we're not going to get into politics right now. We're just going to focus on sports. Sports takes us away from all that. Here we are one. We are a capper. That's all we all are. And it's great. And I love it. Okay, let's go back to work here. Padres, Rockies. Wow. First 5 plus a half, but Taint's going for the big score. We have a Padres team that's banged up, dealing with COVID issues. This first 5 is sitting at 4. And we have, let's see if we've got money coming in on Musgrove as we speak. On Musgrove, why don't we go to Bookmaker, see what's happening over there. Bookmaker, no, there's been no movement. They opened up Colorado plus 211, and there's been no movement. Wow, what an exciting spot. All right. I think we made a mistake here on the timeout. We never timeout Dutch. I think that was an error. I believe that was an error. I don't know. I believe that was an error. Apologies. Sorry, Dutch boy, fresh. Our guy. That was an error there. Okay. So that's what's up. Here, first 5 plus a half is a Taint play today, and I'm going to ride with Taint. I've made 4 bets on today's card, but they're just on 2 games, first 5 and full game. This is my first addition to the show. We've not got to any of my action yet. There we go. Taint play of the day is in. So is the freshest look. But this is the game where the Taint play today is on. Let's talk. Rockies, first 5 plus a half. Let's move on to 6:40 p.m. Eastern. San Francisco Giants at Cincinnati Reds. Giants are 26-16, 12-12 on the road. Cincinnati Reds 19-21, 10-9 at home. There's our guy DX Filer in the house. And by the way, the fresh Taint parlay plus 329. Fresh Taint parlay plus 329. And Piker says Musgrove has a massive hog. Fair warning. I don't think that's going to come into play for any of us. I hope not. Unless, of course, my son ends up under a San Diego bridge, then who knows? All bets are off. 80 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 4 miles per hour, sideways at the Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. Kevin Gausman, 3-0, 1.84 ERA, 0.84 whip, 53 and 2/3, 59 Ks, 12 walks, 4 home runs. He just keeps looking better and better and better with each start. He did lose his last start, in extra innings. He didn't get the loss. But he went 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 12 Ks, 0 walks at Pittsburgh. But still, special pitcher all of a sudden. Or maybe over the last year and a half. Wade Miley, 4-3, 3.69 ERA, 1.05 whip, 39 innings, 32 Ks, 11 walks, 3 home runs. And there's Jimmy Stain. Jimmy Stain, we've missed you. Stain, play of the day. Rockies team total over 2.5 at minus 125. Is it really that low? Stain. Wow. That's a good look, Jimmy. I'm going to pop that right here above that game, the Rockies game, which we just talked about. Christopher Gargaro says, going right back to the well here, Winker over bases and singles riding this train until the wheels fall off. Dezar says Giants are winning and Longoria isn't even hitting. Kevin Riley says, I like San Francisco. Good team. Miley, 4-3, 3.69 ERA, 1.05 whip, 39 innings, 32 Ks, 11 walks, 3 home runs. Steve Priest is on San Francisco minus 116 money line, says nice price. Christopher Gargaro says Moustakas over base is also good. He's hitting the other 400 against Gauss. Arthur Meade Jr. says, what happened to Lance Lynn? Look, Arthur, come on. There's a lot of pressure on my son Jose. Let's just keep him cool. We want him to enjoy being on this show. We don't want him scared of being on this show, Arthur. Let's be very kind to him. Last start for Miley was a wake-up call after the no-no. 3 innings, 11 hits, 8 earned runs, 0 home runs, 3 walks, 5 Ks, and 9-6 loss at Colorado. Giants versus lefties, 238, 753 OPS. Reds versus righties, 260, 778 OPS. Giants bullpen, 4.38 ERA, 1.29 whip, converted 18 of 30. Reds bullpen, 4.94 ERA, 1.36 whip, converted 7 of 14. David Sharp says it's now the second or third game after the no-no. The third game is a train wreck historically, not the next game like people think. Right, this is the third game, but it was the second game that did blow up in his face. But that, maybe had to do with some of the thin air in Colorado. All right, let's look at market move here. Gausman, Miley, this is a first 5. Mean no change here. You can get the Reds at plus 105 to plus 110. Gausman, a pretty strong favorite full game, or first 5, excuse me. Full game, money lines and totals. Money lines and totals, we have Gausman opening up at minus 107, now minus 116, so a 9-cent move towards him on Pinnacle. And this total has gone from 8 to 8.5. 8. Batman Boy says, when does Miley's regression begin? There's Griffin in the house. Great to see you, Griffin. Let's go to baseball data here. By the way, the Rockies batters are hitting 360, 946 against Musgrove, and Chichi has the Padres number 143, 548 OPS. That goes back to the TAINT play of the day. And also Jimmy Staines' look on the Rockies over 2.5. Team total makes a ton of sense. Doesn't that make a ton of sense? I'm going to put some asterisks right there. All right, let's take a look at the game we are speaking of. Gausman, Miley. Against Gausman, they're hitting 292, 967 OPS. Moustakas 5 for 13 against him with 3 doubles, 2 home runs. You have to ask yourself, is this a different pitcher now? Against Wade Miley, they're hitting 289, 903 OPS, and that's why this total has gone from 8.5 to 9. There's Fat Wally in the house. All right. There's Trotwam as well. We got Fat Wally, Trotwam, Dutch Boy Fresh, and Kev Riley says, pad your pocket with that paper. Sammy, Multisport Parlay, Athletics Moneyline, Caps Moneyline, Paris Saint-Germain, win title. LeBron over 8.5 assists, John Moran over 20.5 at plus 2,100. That's a nice one, Sammy. And Sabino Anguano in the house. Great to see you. Okay. Giants, Reds. Do we trust Gausman first 5? And do we trust Gausman against the baseball data? I have to believe in the numbers that we're looking at. I know that Gausman is a very different pitcher than he was. But it is a little uncomforting. And I guess there's Jason Albert. Great to see you. I guess I'm going to have to. Bob Taylor says I still have an 8 at his book, Giants Reds game. I didn't even know. I thought it went from 8.5 to 9. Am I wrong there? No, it went to 8, 8.5. Yeah, there's still an 8 at a couple books. Juiced, Bet Online, Bookmaker, but Pinnacle's already moved it to 8.5, and you can expect the other books to follow as well. Wow. Okay, I'm going to make no move here, Giants, Reds. But if I had a free play, I would certainly be on Gausman and the Giants. Okay, let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Marlins Phillies. We get to the Dirty K prop of the day. Trevor Rogers over 6.5 strikeouts is heavily juiced at minus 148, but Phillies are striking out a massive amount. They strike over more than 1 per inning against left-handers. That's second in MLB, second in Major League Baseball. All right, let's talk about this spot. Marlins 18-23, 10-14 on the road. Philadelphia Phillies 22-20, 14-6 at home. We're at 83 Fahrenheit clear. 5 miles per hour in at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Rogers 5-2, 1.84 ERA, 1.07 WHIP, 44 innings, 57 K, 17 walks, 2 home runs allowed. He's being very good. David Sharp says, I'm on Marlins first 5 plus 108, and I flipped the alternative run line. Marlins minus 1.5. Is that first 5? Must be. I believe the wrong team is, or that must be full game. Can you let us know? It says Miami has good numbers versus Eflin, and Phillies are middle of the pack OPS and strikeout second most. Viper says total's gone over in 7 of Philadelphia's last 9 games when playing Miami. And Steve Priest says Marlins 4, Phillies 3. It's all good, Jose. Don't worry about a thing that happens to us. Don't worry. Okay, let's go. Zach Eflin. 2-2, 3.86 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, 51 and a third, 51 Ks, 5 walks, 6 home runs. By the way, Rogers' last start, I was on Arizona first 5 because of their ability to get to lefties, and I pushed. It was 1-1 after 5, but he looked good against a team that hits lefties hard. 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 0 home runs, 2 walks, 7 Ks. That was also with the roof open in Arizona. It was a pretty impressive pitching performance. He was in complete control, and I got that push in the bottom of the 5th. Marlins versus righties, 225, 640 OPS. Phillies versus lefties, 252, 727 OPS. Marlins bullpen, 3.67 ERA, 1.14 WHIP, converted 7 of 18. Phillies bullpen, 4.33 ERA, 1.35 WHIP, converted 11 of 20. There's Vitalis joining us. We have a great group. AB says NFL is rigged, sadly. Well, good thing there's no NFL on today's card, and we can focus on these sports here. Okay, Phillies, Marlins. We have Philadelphia opening up at minus 119 and now minus 129, a 10-cent move towards the Phillies. This total has been at 7.5, slightly juiced to the under. There's been a 1-cent move to the under. 1 cent. Let's go to baseball data here. Trevor Rogers, again, very small sample size, 13 at-bats, but the Phillies have got to him. They're hitting .538 with a 1.725 OPS. Zach Eflin, 91 at-bats against them, and they're hitting .308 with an .841 OPS. Now, that's legitimate with 91 at-bats against them. And Sharp is on Marlins first 5 money line and full game -1.5. And says Eflin does have a 2 ERA at home and 5 ERA on the road, so it could be a first 5 under. Piker says Marlins hitting a collective .308 with 4 bombs versus Eflin. This is a tricky spot for me when I see the numbers against Rogers, even though the sample size is small. But Rogers has been so good lately. But the Phillies can get to lefties, and the Marlins have no power against righties. So I'm hesitant to do anything. Eflin did not look good in his last start. Kevin Riley says, I never wager on Phillies games. Okay, no move for me in Giants, Cincinnati Reds. So at this point, I have 4 bets on 2 games. We haven't got to them yet. And the TAINT play of the day, I'm tailing Rockies first 5 plus a half. Jimmy Staines team total over 2.5 makes a ton of sense. I believe I'm going to tail that. I got to see what that is at my book. It wasn't a plan. And now we move on to our next spot at 7:05 p.m. Eastern. And we arrive at my son Jose's Say Hey Play of the Day. Now, Jose will be jumping on the show right now, and I want him to come on the screen with confidence. I don't want him to think about the debacle of yesterday's pick. There's many, many picks. I hope many picks. I hope hundreds of picks ahead of him. Please welcome to the show the man on the ones and twos producing the show, star of the Say Hey Play of the Day, Jose. What's happening, my man? How are you?
Jimmy, I'm doing great. I love all this pressure. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy on the inside, especially when I'm looking up plays here at 9 in the morning with, as you say, sweaty palms. So I'm excited.
Okay, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I think that you are buckling under the pressure. I think that smile is fake. I'm concerned for you. And again, we don't want to drive you to heroin. And I don't even mean shooting. I mean, we don't want you smoking it either. Don't chase dragons. We want you to stay sober here and happy and thankful. And I'm concerned. I'm very, very concerned. Lance Lynn, 104 pitches in. I think he recorded his 3rd strikeout. It was not your best performance, but it's a bounce-back spot for you. Bounce-back spot for you, Jose. But let me just one more time clarify something. This means a lot to me. These are my friends, my family, and my colleagues here. And they're tailing you on this. And if you take money out of my friends' pockets, if you take money out of my friends' children's mouths, well, you'll no longer be on the show, Jose. So,
which is fair, again. Which is fair. Okay. Shout out to David Sharp, by the way. You were right. Credit to you. Lance Lynn decided to pitch to contact last night. He still had a good outing, but just simply refused to throw the ball by people. So shout out to him. But yeah, no, today's gonna be a better day, Jimmy.
Okay. All right. Okay. Well, okay.
I'm not gonna show the people my back and those lashings that you gave me after Lance Lynn and that, but we don't have to talk about that. But you know what I would like to talk about, Jimmy?
Sure. What would you like to talk about?
The 24-19, 13-7 away Tampa Bay Rays at the Baltimore Orioles, who happen to be 2017 and 24, 6-16 at home. That is not good, right there, Jimmy. That is not what you want. But guess what, Jimmy?
What?
I said the very first day on MLB closing time, I slandered John Means' name. I dragged him through the mud. I said he was a bum. I said all of the meanest things I could about John Mean. I said his dog was ugly, and he spat in my mouth.
Sure.
He spat in my mouth.
Sure.
And gave me the what for. And now after that, I've been on John Mean's AL Cy Young the whole year. It's been great.
Cock spit in the mouth will do that. It'll change your attitude immediately. So I can understand. I can understand the quick change, of course, here. John Means, 4-0, 1.21 ERA, 0.71 whip, 52 innings, 53 Ks, 10 walks, 5 homers. Last start, very strong against the Mets. 6 innings, 6 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 3 Ks. We go to a market move here, and we have this now on the board. It wasn't on the board for a little bit because we weren't sure if it was Rich Hill or Yarbrough, but it will be Yarbrough, who has a tendency of not starting well, but being very good when he comes in as a primary. Means opens up at 109, minus 109. There's been a 4-cent move towards him. This total was originally juiced to the over. It's now juiced to the under. What's your move here?
So, as I've said, John Means spat in my mouth.
Yeah,
Ryan Yarbrough. Yes,
we went over
sorry. Yeah, cockspit. The chat's on fire about cockspit right now.
Well,
cockspit shirt coming soon. But John Means, 50 plate appearances against these Rays, 208 average, FIP kind of high, X batting average 211. Yarbrough, 64 plate appearances against these Baltimore Orioles, a 133 average with a 2 FIP. Both these guys dominate. I'm going to take a page of the Connor Mack special here, and I'm going first 5 under again. First 5 under 4. You can shop around and get the best lines everywhere. Currently, I'm looking at Bovada, and it's first 5 under 4. Let me see it. Even money. So you can shop around. I looked at Bet365 earlier today as well. So you can look around and see if you get the best lines. But
I think I might have an interesting option for you. Let me make sure that it's not a stale line, and I'll pull up the book right now.
But I love it. Give me the option.
Sports Interaction looks like they are hanging a 4.5.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just see if that is the case here. First 5. They are. Sports Interaction is hanging a first 5 under 4.5 at minus 115. Would you prefer a 4.5 at minus 115, or would you want the 4? Let's see. The best 4 I could give you right here for the first 5 is at plus 105. That's at Pinnacle and Bet Online. And you wager as well. So would you like the under 4 at plus 105 or the under 4.5 at minus 115?
Jimmy, I think you've once said this before. Scared money don't fucking make money, Jimmy.
Ooh.
Give me the fucking 4.
Oh.
I want my even money. And guess what, Jimmy? You know what's under 4? 0.
Look at that. Look at my boy.
No, they're not going to score runs. Who cares? I'm not worried. And guess what, Jimmy? You know what time of the program it is? We're going to the fucking Jimmy the Bag weather report today, too, because it's fucking a beautiful day in Baltimore, too. Yeah. A beautiful day in Baltimore. 75, hot. This little ball might be flying. That's a little concerning, but I was going to pick another play today, and guess what? I did my weather report, and it's fucking raining there, so I'm not going to pick that place. Shout out to the Pirates and Cardinals. But it's a beautiful day. They scored like 40 runs combined last night, and they're not going to do it again.
I have never been so proud of you, Jose, in the 40 days that I've been your father. I'm excited for you. A plus 105 spot on the under 4 for my son, Jose. Jose, thank you for joining us. And if Jose cashes his under 4 plus 105, he comes in tomorrow up units. So
that's what we're doing. That's what we're shooting for. That's all that matters.
Actually, I'm wrong there. That was a minus 110 you were on yesterday. So sorry to make you feel good there. You'll be
no, it's okay. I'll stop. I'm going to pretend like I'm up 50 units. That's the mentality you have to have.
As you should.
You have to have.
Jose's Say Hey play of the day. First 5 under 4 at plus 105 in Tampa Bay Rays, Baltimore Orioles. My son, Jose, so proud of him. So proud of him. Great work from Jose, and bounce back spot for my son. He's not going to end up under a bridge. Okay, let's move on. 7:20 p.m. Eastern. You know, when I look at this spot, let me just look at the baseball data quickly on this spot here. It means 208, 782 OPS, and then Yarbrough 133, 383 OPS. I don't trust Yarbrough right now as starting off. He looked so good coming in as a primary in his last start against the Yankees, man, who can hit lefties. But I think the play is very, very interesting, and I'm surprised that Sports Interaction is hanging a 4.5. All right. And Dutch Boy, thanks, my son Jose, for putting away those guns. Okay, we move on. We move on. 7:20 p.m. Eastern. Next up, New York Mets 20-16, 9-12 on the road at the Atlanta Braves. 19-23, 9-13 at home. 79 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy. 11 miles per hour in. We're at Truist Park in Cumberland, Georgia. We have David Peterson going up against Charlie Morton. Morton has looked very vulnerable on the mound so far this year. This first five was opened at 4. And it was plus 105 to the under. There has been a 5-cent move back to the over at Pinnacle. Let's go over to full game money lines and totals and see what we're dealing with from a market move perspective. And we have the Peterson-Morton combo opening up at 8, dropping down to 7.5. And that's dropped down a full run. So Pinnacle originally had that 8 at minus 114 to the over. It's now minus 115 to the over. So there's been no change really in juice there. But money coming in on the Braves fast and furiously. Minus 145 was the opener. It's now up to minus 172. Minus 172. Arthur Meade Jr. says Braves for the win. Martial arts fan says Braves almost came through yesterday. I was pretty disappointed that they didn't. Martial arts fan says Blue Jays cashed yesterday, fade now. We'll get to that game next. Red Sox, Blue Jays. But now it's Mets, Braves. Peterson, 1-3, 4.86 ERA, 1.26 whip, 33 in the third, 41 Ks, 13 walks, 6 home runs. In his last start, he looked good against Tampa, who struggle against lefties. He went 7 in the third, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 9 Ks. And I'm surprised that they struggle against lefties. They have so many options against left-handed pitching. I expect their numbers against lefties to improve. Charlie Morton not look good this year. 2-2, 5.08 ERA, 1.44 whip, 39 innings, 44 Ks, 16 walks, 5 home runs. Bob Taylor is on the Morton over 6.5 Ks. Steve Priest says maybe Morton's off the juice. He hasn't been good. Bama Boy says hard to trust the Braves. Morton in his last start at home versus the Jays looked vulnerable, but got out of it. Made it through 4 2/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, 8-4 loss. Mets, 232, 663 OPS versus righties. They don't hit them. And Braves don't hit lefties, which is a surprise as well. 215, 672 OPS. Mets bullpen, 3.72 ERA, 1.31 whip strong. Braves bullpen continually looks bad. I mean, day after day, they look bad. 4.93 ERA, 1.50 whip. They've converted 8 of 14 save opportunities. And there we have it. I'm worried about these comments coming up. Oh, God. A lot of pressure on Jose. And we have hungry children now due to his lack of skills in the MLB handicapping department. But I know that he hits. I know that he's very good at baseball. We can't judge a man on one play. I know that he's going to be positive units. I believe in my son, Jose, but I was worried about that. Very, very worried. Kevin Riley said Atlanta due for a big win today. Love the Braves today. Let's move over to baseball data here. And we have Peterson. They're hitting just 138, 553 OPS against them. Acuna 0 for 3. Ozuna 0 for 5. Albies 0 for 3. Freeman 0 for 6. And they're hitting just 200, 617 OPS against Morton. If this was a 4.5 and getting love there, Arthur Meade Jr. says Jose is very good with Ian and Connor Mack. He's very good here. We can't judge the man on one game. And Mets, Braves here. If this was a first 5, 4.5, that's an easy thing to say that I would be on the under. 79 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 11 miles per hour in. Does feel like. But 3 runs is just too low for me to cash a winning ticket on. Dennis Trusty, like we believe, you have kids. Come on. Come on, Trusty. Come on. Let's not play make-believe, Trusty. Let's not play make-believe. Steve Priest says Mets plus 170 is a bit ridiculous. Plus 170. Wow. That's a wild line. You can get plus 170, plus 165 at most books, down to plus 155. I can't sit here and trust Charlie Morton. And if that's the case, then why wouldn't the Mets be live? Because of the massive injuries they've had. So I'm not I know I have not made a lot of moves today, but I'm not just going to play make-believe like Dennis Trusty has children and makes love to women. So We're not going to play. I'm not going to bet the Mets here. I can't bet the Mets. All right, let's move on to 7:37 p.m. Eastern. We have the Boston Red Sox 25-18, 12-6 on the road. The Toronto Blue Jays 23-17, 10-5 at home. 84 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy. 21 miles per hour in. 21 miles per hour in seems ludicrous. That was last night, and I know that it was supposed to be 18 miles per hour in, and it dipped a little bit by game time. But let's see what the weather is here in Dunedin today in this Red Sox game. 19. So very windy and in is the weather here. David Trapp says, I'm running with the same play I cashed yesterday. Hits, runs, errors over 29.5. After we talked about the wind, that's how I attacked it today. 2 crap starting pitchers. Wind blowing in. Lots of hits. I don't know, runs. That's a very smart way of doing it. And I love you, Trusty. Dennis Trusty will be live on Razor Sharp's Thoroughbred Handicapping Show. And when it comes to the thoroughbreds, the man knows what he's talking about. He works at Churchill Downs. He's very, very skilled. Very, very skilled. Okay. Gas station says that Dennis Trusty's in the sauce early. Polo this, polo that. You handled yesterday's NBA with aplomb. Very, very skilled. Vitalis has right to left. Yes, I can understand it being quoted as right to left, but I have it as sideways in. Let's double check that again. And this is not a right to left to me. This is in. And I think that RotoWire has a different definition of in than what I see with baseball data. Okay. 84 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 21 miles per hour in TD Ballpark, Dunedin, Florida. Garrett Richards, as soon as Gas faded him, he called him hot Chinese food garbage, I believe. Gas had an easy casher. Garrett Richards has looked better since. 3-2, 3.89 ERA, 1.44 whip, 41 2/3, 38 Ks, 18 walks, 4 home runs. Matty Ice says, I'm leaning under 10 here. In his last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 5 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 4 Ks, and 8-1 win at home versus the A's. Stripling is vulnerable, but he didn't look too bad in his last start against the Braves. 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 9 Ks. Looked pretty good. Overall, though, 5.91 ERA, 1.69 whip. He's allowed 4 home runs and 21 in the third with 26 Ks and 8 walks. Red Sox hit righties hard. So do the Jays. Red Sox 255, 759 OPS versus righties. Jays 250, 739 OPS versus righties. And I know those don't sound like enormously high statistics from years past. This year, though, these teams have the lowest batting average ever. But that's got to be the live ball era, of course. Viper MB said, did you go to Parkdale Community College? There are no colleges in Parkdale, buddy. Come on. Crack houses, but no colleges. All right. Parkdale Community College. Man, where's that? Is that the Dollarama, maybe? Okay, let's go to market move here. We have Boston, Toronto. The total opened up at 10.5. It's moved all the way down to 9.5. And this reminds me sort of that, I guess not to the same extent, but it reminds me of yesterday's Yankees-Rangers game where because it was going to be played with the roof closed in Texas, that total dropped fast and it soared over immediately, and I didn't bet it. But Garrett Richards is pitching better, but the Jays are on fire right now, hitting-wise. Jays and Stripling opened up at minus 119 and now minus 122, a 3-cent move towards them. Rocky Manichetti says, when is Loshak guesting? The dates are being locked in this week. Everything's being locked in this week. Lodo's Loshak will be returning to us very soon. Puzzler says Toronto nearly unbeatable presently. Gas station sushi joining us. What a wonderful things to wonderful thing to see Gas. I guess I just can't take the over. You're right, Vitalis. I came so close to pulling the trigger yesterday and I didn't. David Trapp says this has the same feel as yesterday's Jays game. Wind blowing in, money comes in on the under like yesterday, except both pitchers are trash. It's not Ryu out there today. That is a well put. That is well put. But Garrett Richards is pitching well lately. And it still is a high number at 9.5. Yes, Max. He's still living in a treehouse. This treehouse is in Brooklyn. It's not nearly as safe as the treehouse in Costa Rica. So, and I say that because there's lots of people living in treehouses in Costa Rica. It's common, but in Brooklyn, a little dodgy, a little more dodgy. I have to think that let's just take a look at the Red Sox team total here. After going up against Ryu, they're going to find this much, much easier. And the Red Sox team total, 4.5 minus 115. Puzzler says only one of Toronto's 18 hits was a homer. Dennis Trusty likes the Red Sox plus 105 outright. I have a lean towards the Red Sox. But I guess that lean would be better off with a team total over 4.5. But even then, the Jays bullpen is so good. There's Boston Nick, and that was great to see you, Boston Nick. Okay, no move for me, but I have a lean towards the over 4.5 for the Red Sox. Nationals, Chicago Cubs next up. Nationals are 16-22, 7-12 on the road. Cubs 21-20, 15-8 home. We're at Wrigley Field, Chicago, Illinois. 74 Fahrenheit, mostly cloudy, 13 miles per hour out to left. When that wind is blowing out to left in Wrigley, there is a lot of runs scored. But Maximus Scherzer on the mound. And North Enders is under 7-0. Red Sox last 7 games. There's right-handed pitcher. That's a big stat, North Ender. Thank you for sharing that with us. Maximus Scherzer, 3-2, 2.10 E. Oh, wait, I didn't do baseball data in that last spot. That's extremely important. So I apologize there. Let's just take a quick look at what we are dealing with here. Against Garrett Richards, 226, 633 OPS. Against Stripling, 200, 615 OPS. So they've done well against the opposition. While I have it up, Max Scherzer, against Max Scherzer, 223 average with a 642 OPS. And against Jake the Snake Arrieta, 221, 710 OPS. Kevin Riley leaning towards Scherzer and Washington. Scherzer's last start only made it through 5 innings. 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 Ks, 17-2 win at Arizona. We had the Nats there, minus 1.5 in that spot. And it was an easy casher. It felt like that Nationals offense was about to heat up. And they certainly have. Jake Arrieta, 4-3, 4.10 ERA, 1.23 whip, 37 and a third, 29 Ks, 13 walks, 7 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 home runs, 1 walk, 1 K, and a 4-2 win at Detroit. I do not trust Arrieta. Nationals versus righties, 245, 696 OPS. Cubs versus righties, 231, 714 OPS. Nats bullpen, 3.83 ERA, 1.24 whip. They've converted 4 of 7 save opportunities. Cubs bullpen is getting better each and every day right now. 3.32 ERA, 1.31 whip. They've converted 10 of 15 save opportunities. Griffin saying Arrieta much better at Wrigley, and there's absolute truth to that. Jay Vegas saying Cubs are 7-1 in their last 8 home games. North Ender saying Nationals are 23-8 in their last 31 versus the NL Central. Nats, Cubbies. We have Washington opening up at minus 136 or now minus 148, a 12-cent move towards them, and this total going from 9.5 to 9 with the wind blowing out. Let's see what the Nats team total is. Although, let's see if they finally give me a first 5 alternate line. Minus a half at minus 125. Arrieta is gonna love this opportunity to pitch against Scherzer, but he's just not as good as Scherzer. Griffin looking at that first 5 under. Let's see who gets to Arrieta here. Juan Soto, 4 for 11 with 2 homers. That's what I want to see. Schwarber knows Arrieta inside and out. 1 for 3 with a triple. Josh Bell, 7 for 23 with 2 doubles and 2 homers. Those are the guys that I need to be able to hit them. Piker says Cubs are too hot right now to fade versus a team that's only won 3 of their last 10. And the Cubs bullpen so much stronger than the Nats bullpen. David Sharp's on the Nats minus 1.5. Michael Irvelina says Nats first 5 for sure. Arthur Mead looking at the Nats K prop. Let's see who gets to Scherzer. 223, 642 OPS. Rizzo, 5 for 18 with a double and a homer. Chris Bryant, 2 for 14. Jock, 1 for 11. Jock probably won't be in line. Javi Baez, 1 for 12. Okay. Matty Ice looking at Trey Turner, stolen base prop. Max says it's about Horner and Happ. Happ, 0 for 6. Okay, I am going to move on the Nats first 5 minus a half at minus 125. Birdie says this is screaming under first 5 in his opinion. With the weather 13 miles per hour out to left, it doesn't take much to get it out of Wrigley. And we talked about how crucial it was for somebody to protect Soto. And when he gets protection, then the Nats can be scary. And it already looking at the numbers for Schwarber and for Bell against Arrieta, you can imagine that there's going to be protection. CT Bases, old school Scherzer, this is minus 260. He's pitching like that now. That's a good point. I'm on the Nats first 5 minus half minus 125. That is the second, possibly third edition, because I might be tailing Jimmy Stain's Rockies team total over, and I expect to actually at this point. All right, we move on to a double dip for me. 7:45 p.m. Eastern. Pittsburgh Pirates 17-24, 9-13 on the road at St. Louis Cardinals 24-18, 13-8 at home. 74 Fahrenheit, overcast, 14 miles per hour, sideways. Cahill looked good last start. Much to my chagrin, but the Cardinals are a different ball club when Flaherty's on the mound, and I think Cahill is vulnerable, even at the best of times. So, with that being said, I have doubled up here on the St. Louis Cardinals. I took them first 5 minus 1 at plus 100, and that's minus 140 and minus 140 on the minus a half and plus 140 on the minus 1.5. And that was a difficult decision. I just didn't want to sit here with minus 140s on my card. I also have them minus 1.5 at plus 100. So I have 2 plus 100 lines on this spot. North Ender joining me. And Jose saying this was almost my play of the day, but there's allegedly 60% chance of rain. Let's just double check. Are you talking about the Cardinals game or the Nats game, Jose? Let's go over to RotoWire and see what they're saying about rain here. I thought I pulled up RotoWire. I must not have. Let's just quickly look at if rain is an issue. And let's go over here. 60% chance of rain, which means it would be in red. Okay. 39% chance of rain in KC. 7% chance of rain in St. Louis. 4% chance of rain in Chicago. It looks pretty good to me at this point. Okay. Let's get right back to work here. Got Cardinals money line and under 7.5 plus 170 last night. I like that. Polo this. That makes a ton of sense here. Busch Stadium. David Trump said we bet this on the Discord last night. I love that. I haven't been on it yet, but I will be on it very, very soon. We have a new Discord here at Pub Sports Radio. And Trevor Cahill, 1-4, 5.97 ERA, 1.41 whip, 34 2/3, 27 Ks, 9 walks, 4 home runs. And again, his last start at home versus the Reds, he was able to slow them down. 5 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run. It was a solo shot, 0 walks, 1 K. But it was a 5-1 loss at home. Flaherty, 7-0, 2.47 ERA, 0.95 whip, 47 1/3, 48 Ks, 13 walks, 3 home runs. His last start was a wonderful game. He went up against Corbin Burns. Both pitchers were excellent, but Cards won 2-0. He went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 0 runs, 2 walks, 6 Ks. Pirates first righties just 233, 650 OPS. Cardinals have a little bit better OPS, but a worse batting average, 226, 685 OPS. Pirates bullpen 3.82 ERA, 1.19 whip. They've converted 6 of 7 save opportunities. Cards bullpen 3.88 ERA, 1.34 whip. They've converted 14 of 16 save opportunities. And there is the link for anybody who wants to jump in there. The Discord, I will spend quite a bit of time on it from now on. Okay, let's take a look at batter versus pitcher here right now. A little baseball data. Against Cahill, these guys are hitting 368 with a 992 OPS. Goldschmidt is 4 for 6 with a double. Carpenter is 6 for 13 with 2 doubles. Molina 4 for 13 with a homer. Nolan Arenado 4 for 14 with 2 doubles. Flaherty, they're hitting 195 with a 519 OPS. They're 15 for 77. 5 of those hits are doubles, no triples, no home runs. Double up spot for me. Arthur Meade Jr. says Cards team total over. I get that, but Trevor Cahill is somebody who just loves splashing the old tonsils on me. He just gets me. He just messes with me. And when I watch him pitch, he looks so bad. So I'm not going to triple up here. This will just be a double up spot. Maxwell Smart says Matt Carpenter can't hit anymore. Cross him off. It was exactly what I was thinking when I was reading our stats. I was like, that got to be the old Harper. And we have Piker saying Cards run line and the over 7. Book it. Let's just take a quick look, even though I do not want to triple up. Don't want to triple up. I got to repeat that over and over again so that I don't. Let's just take a look at what the team total is here for the St. Louis Cardinals. The team total for the Cards is 4.5 of plus money, plus 105. Yes, David Sharp, I'm on that as well. And Piker says, don't fear the tonsils. He thinks my tonsil's going to be dry. Dry as a bone. I like hearing that. Double up for me and both up plus 100. That's first 5 minus 1. Full game minus 1.5 for the Cardinals. All right. And a fun fact from our Jose on this Pirates Cards game. He says, Pittsburgh Pirates have hit 6 home runs in May so far. These players all have more home runs this month. Laureano, Arenado, Garcia, and Brandon Crawford. I'm expecting that's Brandon Crawford. Oh, there is the 4. Shohei Ohtani and Mitch Haniger. Steve Priest, Pirates team total under 2.5. I get it. And Joe Yurkovich says, Joe Yurkovich says, and I know what he's trying to say. He's saying that road dogs in divisional games are very dangerous. And I get it. I just despise Cahill. And I think he's so vulnerable. And when I look at these pitcher versus statter stats, I think the Cards can get all over him. And Flaherty's so strong at home. But, Joe, you've used that to great profit. So I can understand the mentality here. Michael Evelyn says, Cahill's so confusing. I fade him. Yeah, it's tricky. In Opfa, much love, my friend. Great to see you. A great capper and a spectacular thoroughbred capper in Opfa. Okay, let's move on to 8:05 p.m. Eastern. We have Yankees at Texas Rangers. It's cool, the weather in Texas. The roof is closed. And anytime we talk about Texas, all I can think of is as soon as the border opens up, I'm driving right to Jeff Slaughter's bar, the Southtown 101, straight from Toronto to San Antonio. I'm going to stop all along the way at horse tracks and Lowbaggers' houses. So I will see all of you guys, as many as I can, on my way down to the Southtown 101 in San Antonio. Okay, Yankees, Rangers, Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. We have Corey Kluber, and we didn't know who Corey Kluber was going up against. Has that changed? It must have changed because it says we've got a market now. Let me just move over here. Does anyone know who he's going up against? Yang. All right, I've got to study Yang. I know we've talked about him once. And Joe Yerke says, yes, long-term trend. Road division dogs, the higher the better. And Sebastian says, yes, come to Texas. And CT Bays, Marlins is his dog of the day. Marlins dog of the day. So CT Bays and David Sharp on the same spot there. And Picasso the Prophet, yes, you missed the Taint. It's a wild one. Both the Taint and the Freshest look are very exciting looks. Very, very exciting. I don't remember actually being quite so excited about these two looks. The Taint play today is Colorado Rockies first 5 plus a half at plus 125. Colorado Rockies first 5 plus a half. And the Freshest look is Steph Curry under 36.5 points. Ooh-wee. Let's see. Chris Brady, done. Wait, Chris Brady, I thought you were in Washington State. You in Washington State? That'd be a really tough right turn. Okay, let's talk about this Yankee spot a little bit. I need to study Yang more. Corey Kluber, 3-2, 3.48 ERA, 1.40 WHIP, 41 Ks, 19 walks, 4 home runs. His last 30 went 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 2 walks, 6 Ks, and a 5-4 win at Baltimore. He just doesn't look very trustworthy as a big favorite at this point. And the Rangers are hitting right now 239, 715 OPS versus righties. I know that doesn't sound like much, but with the way MLB is hitting righties right now, that's pretty good. Yeah, Chris Brady, that's a tough right turn, my man. But I got you. I got you in the future for sure. That's a one hard right turn. Yankees bullpen 2.85 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. They've converted 13 and 14 save opportunities. They've been very good. North Ender says Hamilton should be the first top 3 of us here at least. Well, Hamilton's just 40 minutes away, 35 minutes away over there. I got to make tracks, man. Got to make tracks. I think Windsor will be the first stop at this point, but we'll talk about that because we're going to cross the bridge over into Detroit, hang out with Kev Riley, Matt Randall. Viper says Toll's gone over in 5 in New York's last 6 games. I need to study Wang right now, and we've got playoff action in both NHL and NBA that we want to talk a lot about, so I'm not going to sit here hum and haw. So if anybody wants to drop info on Wang and their expectations, Viper wants me to take a dump in a random cornfield. Done. For you, Viper. It's a weird ask. 8:07 p.m. Eastern. We're moving on. I got to study Wang. I've said that too many times. Lee Federchak says you stop at Rivers Casino in Pittsburgh. I mean, I'd love to do that. I'd love to go through there. I probably will not on this trip, but I promise you that will happen. Cleveland Indians, 22-18, 12-11 on the road at the Angels, 18-23, 9-10 at home, 71 Fahrenheit clear, 10 miles per hour out to center field, Angel Stadium, Anaheim, California. We have Savali, and Joe Yurkovich talked about the expected regression from Savali in his last start, and man, did it rear its ugly head immediately. This total opened up at 7.5. It's now at 8. Ohtani and the Angels opened up at -127. They're now at -122, so a 5-cent move towards the, yes, Picasso profit. Taint is Colorado Rockies, first 5 plus a half at +125. Savali's last start, 6 2/3, 7 hits, 5 runs, 2 home runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, 7-3 loss at Mariners. He looked bad. Ohtani 1-0, 2.10 ERA, 1.21 WHIP, 25 2/3, 40 Ks, 20 walks, 2 home runs. His last start was good. 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 home run, and 10 strikeouts. But it was a 5-1 loss at Houston. He continues to walk too many batters, and it seems like the tax is not here right now on Ohtani. I wonder why. Indians versus righties, 217, 678 OPS. Angels versus righties, 257, 733 OPS. Indians bullpen, 2.60 ERA, 1.17 WHIP, converted 13 and 15 save opportunities. Angels bullpen, unbelievably bad. Oh, my pleasure, Picasso the Prophet, my guy. Angels bullpen so bad, 5.07 ERA, 1.46 WHIP, converted 10 of 18 save opportunities. The weather is nice for offense. It's going to be even nicer when it heats up sort of out there. Jacksonville, so yeah. Brady says over in this one. I have Savali wrong, or I certainly did last out. Viper says call Cleveland 9-1 straight up in the last 10 games when playing the Angels. I don't know what to do in this spot. Let's go to baseball data, see if that will illuminate anything for us. Only Lagares has seen Savali. And only Rosario has seen Ohtani. Ooh, Austin Hill. I got you, man. I'm copying and pasting that. Thank you for sharing. It's great having Canterbury back for Razor Sharp's show. Tonight's going to be incredible because we got late night Emerald Downs. Okay, Thick Haze at Canterbury. Thank you for sharing with us, Austin Hill. Yesenia, what's happening? Welcome to the show. Okay, so no move for me there in the Angels game. I've not backed Ohtani ever this year. And I always think there's just an extra tax on him. He only has 1 win. I love that, Turnsey. That's where I think we need to get a meetup, low bag some of the champions. All right, let's go up to my next double dip. Birdie says, seems odd this total would climb. Cleveland's a dead nuts under team. That move up seems telling. There's truth to that for sure, Birdie. I'll keep an eye on your Twitter and see if you pull the trigger. Brewers, 21-21, 11-9 on the road. Kansas City Royals, 19-22, 9-12 at home. 69 Fahrenheit, light rain, 10 miles per hour, sideways. This was a double up spot for me. Corbin Burns is absolutely electric. And I know that Brad Keller is capable of pitching well. I did not take the Brewers on the run line. I bet this last night. I took them on the -1. I got -170 on the money line. I got -1.5 at +100. If I can get a -1 on a team I really believe in, and it's -135 or less, and I really, really believe in them, I will pull the trigger. If it gets up to -140, then I will focus on the run line. So I did take the Brewers full game -1 at -135, and then money was just all over them in the first 5. And I ended up taking a -1 at -104. And that's, again, Bet365 not dropping first 5s until 9 in the morning to 10 in the morning on day of. And K-Paul VIP says Detroit Lions under 5 wins seems like a steal after looking at their schedule. CT Base says Brewers all day. This was a double-up spot for me. Brewers first 5. Brewers full game. Kauffman Stadium, Kansas City, Missouri. Corbin Burns 2-3, 1.57 ERA, 0.64 WHIP, 34 in the third, 58 Ks, 1 walk, 1 home run. Last start, he looked very good against the Cardinals, but he only made it through 5 innings. 1 earned run, 0 home runs, 1 walk, 9 Ks. I do feel like they're because it is only a few weeks. And I know that he wasn't showing any of the symptoms of COVID, but he was away from the team for 10 days. I believe it was 10 days. And that, get him out of his rhythm. I do think he'll start being stretched out a little bit. Brad Keller, 3-4, 6.75 ERA, 1.86 WHIP, 33 in the third, 29 Ks, 16 walks, bad K to walk ratio, 5 home runs allowed. He looked much better in his last start. 5 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 0 home runs, 3 walks, 7 Ks, and a 6-2 win at the White Sox. Brewers versus righties, 207, 636 OPS. Royals versus righties, 230, 684 OPS. Brewers bullpen, 4.37 ERA, 1.33 WHIP, converted 11 of 16. Royals bullpen, 4.41 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, converted 10 of 16. CT Base says Vogelbach can DH today. That could help. David Sharp says, I'm on the same play. Brewers, I got the -180 money line and -0.5 at -120. All first 5 for me. I get that. And Christian Cassandra is saying 365 brutal with early lines. Yeah, that's why they make so much money. They don't ever put themselves in a vulnerable position, and it's sucks working with them. Okay, let's take a look at batter versus pitcher here in this spot. Corbin Burns are hitting just 188 with a 423 OPS. They're 3 for 16 with 3 singles. Ooh, he's so good. And Vogelbach 3 for 6 with 3 homers against Keller. And as was said, going to be able to DH 273, 840 OPS, mainly because of the strength of Vogelbach's numbers. All right. Perfect. Birdie says Ford's announcing that once this lockdown is lifted, that is no more. Enough vaccines have been administered that he's going to stay back to business. So good news should be released that soon. I'm very, very excited to hear that. I have been vaccinated. Up and down's view is great. All right, I doubled up on the Brewers. First 5, -1. Full game, -1. And we move on. Houston Astros, Oakland Athletics. We have 3 games left, and let's try to get through them fast because we got playoffs to speak on in NBA and NHL. We are at the Astros A's, 57 Fahrenheit clear, 17 miles out to center field in Oakland Coliseum, Oakland, California. We have Frankie Montas, hard toss Montas going up against Zach Greinke. Let's see what we are dealing with from a market perspective. We have this total opening up at 8. It's now at 8.5. Greinke opening up at -104. He's now at -114. So there's been a 10-cent move. A 10-cent move towards the... There. 10-cent move towards the Astros. And Chad Cannon says Brewers offense thinks makes it tougher. And David Chop says this is a must-play. Burns K-prop here, over 9.5, easy peasy. I don't have it available yet to bet. And Joe Yurkovich worries that KC doesn't strike out enough, but it's 8.5 juice to the under for Joe Yurkovich. Interesting. Arthur Meade on the Oakland team total over, and Maxwell Smart going back to the well with Jose Altuve over a half single at -120, and I believe he's got a 12-game hitting streak on the line. Greinke, 3-1, 4.18 ERA, 1.28 WHIP, 51 2/3, 40 Ks, 11 walks, 7 home runs. In his last start, he went 7 innings, allowed 7 hits, 3 runs, 0 home runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 10-4 win at home versus Texas. Texas is hitting the ball right now, and it was a quality start. Frankie Montas and Jose St. Brewers are hitting 208 in May, second worst in baseball so far. CT Bay says, I love this over. Love this over. And it's now at 8.5. Good job getting it at 8.5. I won't take it at this number, but at 8, I completely get why you would have attacked it. Montas, 5-2, 4.93 ERA, 1.36 WHIP, 42 innings, 39 Ks, 11 walks, 8 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, allowed 4 hits, 1 earned run, 1 home run, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and a 6-1 win at Minnesota. Astros versus righties, 256, 750 OPS. And I can't stress enough how poor MLB is at hitting righties so far this year. And those are very strong numbers in comparison to the league. A's versus righties, 215, 684 OPS. That's pretty much what the league is hitting it at. Astros bullpen 4.12 ERA, 1.27 whip, converted 9 of 16 save opportunities. A's bullpen 3.79 ERA, 1.26 whip. They've converted 12 of 15 save opportunities. Bob S. also liking the over in the Astros game. Blez W says Astros let me down last night. Going to take them again, first 5 minus a half. I had them first 5 minus a half yesterday, and it cashed 3-2 after 5. And CT Bay says few athletics hit Greinke. And Jose saying Astros hitting the best so far in May. Those are great stats, Jose. I love them. Thank you for sharing them. Keep them coming. Greinke against the A's, 244, 651 OPS. But it's Laureano who is becoming – God, he's putting up MVP numbers. Amazing. Imagine saying that about Ramon Laureano. He's always been so incredible in the field, but now that bat, the stick is talking. 6 for 11 with 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run against Greinke. Ooh-wee. Matt Chapman, 5 for 16 with a double and a home run against Greinke. Against Montas, rating 260 with a 751 OPS. Montas coming off a nice start in Minnesota. Very, very, very interesting here. Viper says the total's gone over in 5 Oakland's last 5 games from playing at home against Houston. And we got Mills, MMA locker room, our guy Mills saying, I'd like that prop on Altuve that Max is looking at. There's no move for me here. I do not feel like I have an edge. Jose looking at home run prop of the day, Laureano, and over 1 bases plus 109 on Bovada. Home runs this month, 7. Okay, we move on for me. Chris Brady says 8.5. I like the over 2. But I think that when we miss these market moves, it's important for us to stay off. And let's just see how long Pinnacle had it at 8 and then decide if that was a for sure miss. Wow, look at this. Very interesting market moves. So it was at 8 for 6 hours from 4:10 p.m. till 10:01 p.m. Then it moved to 8.5. Then it moved to 9. It was at 9 this morning for 30 minutes before it went back to 8.5. Very interesting. Very interesting market moves. Weather screaming over. Pitchers saying under. CT Base says going to be 10 runs in this game. All right, no move for me there. We move on to 10:10 p.m. Eastern. Arizona Diamondbacks at LA Dodgers, 68 Fahrenheit, clear 7 miles per hour, out to center. Diamondbacks are 18-25, 9-16 on the road. Dodgers are 24-18, 14-6 at home. We are at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. Merrill Kelly up against Clayton Kershaw. Merrill Kelly 2-4, 5.24 ERA, 1.46 WHIP, 44 2/3, 34 Ks, 16 walks, 6 home runs. In that last start, he went up against Trevor Rogers, and it was 100 Fahrenheit. The roof was open, and I backed Merrill Kelly first 5 at plus 120 against Rogers, and it was a push after 5 innings, 1-1. But I was impressed with his pitching performance. He did get touched in the 6th inning. He went 6 in the 3rd. He went 7 hits, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 4 Ks, and a 5-1 loss. Kershaw 6-3, 3.20 ERA, 1.01 WHIP, 15 2/3, 57 Ks, 9 walks, 4 home runs. In his last start, he did not look good against the Marlins. He went 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 11 Ks, and 9-6 win at home versus the Marlins. He has a tendency of having a very good start after a bad start. Diamondbacks were smashing lefties earlier in the year. The number is dropping a little bit, but they're still hitting them well. 238, 756 OPS, but they're not hitting lefties the way the Dodgers are hitting righties. 260, 800 OPS. Nightbot says, can you say hello to my little brother? His name is Nick Kerr. Love from Finland. What up, Nick Kerr and Nightbot? Thank you guys for joining us. Ace King, the Taint. Oh, thank Jacksonville Zoe hitting him with that. Beautiful. Okay, so Diamondbacks bullpen, atrocious. 5.53 ERA, 1.58 WHIP, converted 5 of 13 save opportunities. Dodgers bullpen, 3.61 ERA, 1.40 WHIP. They've converted 13 of 26 save opportunities. David Sharp says, here we go. I keep trying to tell people Arizona stats versus left-handed pitching are skewed. They have less than 280 at-bats versus left-handed pitching. Others have 500, 600. Those stats will come down like they have been for Arizona. Chris Brady says, I think it goes over. Viper says Dodgers 9-1 straight up in the last 10 games when playing Arizona. Let's go to the data here. Actually, let's take a quick look at. So this just got on the map. Oh, is Merrill not pitching? Is Merrill Kelly not pitching? Why am I giving? We don't even have this up on the board yet. Okay, it must not be Merrill Kelly. It's just finally got on the board. The first book to put it out, and we don't know who's pitching it. It's got Kershaw as a minus 290 favorite. Puzzler says to Tavertaloa. All right. And Blockhead says just got trolled. Okay, look, what if Nick Kerr is some sort of a murderer or whatever? I could care less. I'll still say hello to him. All right, let's move on to 10:10 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers at Seattle Mariners. And Merrill Kelly just pitched last night. Did I really mess that up? How did I mess that up? Yeah, I must have pitched. Why am I? Okay. Let me just see something very quickly here. Batter's pitcher. Yeah, I think I screwed that up. My fault. Okay. Let's move on to the final game on the board. We don't know who is pitching here for Arizona. Let's see here. If I can find out very quickly. No, Merrill Kelly was supposed to pitch yesterday. Okay, 10:10 p.m. Eastern. Detroit Tigers at Seattle Mariners. Tigers 16-26, 7-14 on the road at Seattle Mariners. 21-22, 12-11 at home. It's going to be cold in Seattle, so we have the roof closed. T-Mobile Park in Seattle, Washington. Tariq Skubal, 0-6, 5.73 ERA, 1.58 WHIP, 33 innings, 31 Ks, 17 walks, 11 home runs. In his last start, he went 6 innings, 8 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 home run, 1 walk, 5 Ks, and a 4-2 loss at home versus the Cubs. Logan Gilbert, who made his highly anticipated MLB debut. Look, Nightbot, great. I mean, look, I don't know what that word is in Finnish. I don't speak Finnish. If you got me to say something bad in Finnish, below me. I could care less. Okay. Tigers versus righties, 230, 679 OPS. Mariners versus lefties, 181, 604 OPS. Tigers bullpen, 6.13 ERA, 1.69 WHIP, converted 9 of 15 save opportunities. Mariners bullpen, 3.56 ERA, 1.16 WHIP, converted 12 of 20 save opportunities. And Dennis Garcia says we need to shorten the baseball segment with all these playoffs going on. You're right. I've taken too long on it. Let's just see what this market move here is in this Seattle spot. Sorry. Here we go. We have the Mariners opening up at minus 119. There's been a 31-cent move towards them at Pinnacle, a huge move towards Seattle. This total's gone from 8.5 down to 8. All right. Detroit Tigers, Tariq Skubal going up against the Mariners team that can't hit lefties. Okay. So Tigers, Mariners, Skubal versus Gilbert. A huge move towards Gilbert. Look, I want nothing to do with this. So no move for me in trying to figure out which guy to trust here in Skubal, Gilbert. No move for me. All right, let's review the action here on this card. I have doubled up on both the Cardinals and Brewers. I'm tailing the TAINT play of the day, Rockies first 5 plus a half at plus 125. And I think I'm going to tail Jimmy Staines team total over 2.5 at minus 125. I think I'm going to tail that. Other than that, the only thing that I was close to jumping on was the Red Sox team total over 4.5 against Stripling. I still want to tail that, but the wind blowing in, I probably will leave it off. And the only other thing I'm on is I did add Nationals first 5 minus a half. Nationals first 5 minus a half. So not a ton of action for me. 7 bets. All right, let's go on to NBA. 7:30 p.m. Eastern. NBA play-in game West. 9th place versus 10th place Spurs at Grizzlies. Spurs 33-39, 9-17 on the road. So, I mean, why would we not bet Memphis Grizzlies here? And I did. I got them, unfortunately, -4 at minus 110. I missed the 3.5. It was available when I was on the radio at 3.5, but by the time I went to bet it, unfortunately, it moved to 4 at minus 110. That's where it stands right now. Anybody can get them -4, -110. There's actually been a 5-cent move at Bet365. It's now -115. The total opened up at 225. It's now at 222.5. 222.5. Dennis Garcia says, all I've seen is Memphis choke in these games back-to-back years. They're a young basketball team, and the Spurs are now a very young basketball team as well. But I can completely understand that thought process. We're at FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. The Spurs did not look good down the stretch. They went 1-4 over their past 5. They lost 4 straight. They've lost 5 of their last 6. And those losses, they've been destroyed. In 8 losses in May, they've been outscored by a margin of 15.25 points. They're 7th in pace over their last 5 games at 101.70 possessions a game. And the Grizzlies are 18th in pace over their last 5 at 98.90 possessions a game. Dennis Garcia says, yes, but the Spurs aren't laying 4 points. Dennis, look, what we saw yesterday was the public get hammered. The public got destroyed. And the public's all going to be all over Memphis and the Lakers here tonight. Is the public going to get destroyed again? It's very, very possible. Jay Vegas is under 37-15 in Grizzlies' last 52 home games. The Spurs have lost 4 straight, 5 of their last 6, as I said. But they were 19-17 on the road. Their 21st consecutive winning season on the road. The Grizzlies won the season series 2-1. The road team won each time. Memphis has won 5 of their last 6 games. They set franchise records, scoring 113.3 points per game with a 111.7 offensive rating. They scored more than 130 points 9 times, another franchise record. And they led the NBA in scoring in the paint at 55.8 points per game. Who is going to stop that on the Spurs? Billy Pilgrim has a good point. He says FedEx Forum capacity up to 7,500 tonight. Yes, they've doubled their capacity. So it's up to now 40% from 20%. Valanciunas missed the last 2 wins against the Spurs. He was in the league's health and safety protocols, which I didn't realize at the time. 49 double-doubles, and I trust this Grizzlies team to get the job done. Trotwam in the house has hit the like button. Thank you, Trotwam. Trotwam, how are you hammering this NBA spot? The give me my money, give me my paper? Or give me my props. Just give me my props play today. Teron Hopkins, sorry, it'll be in a minute. Give me my props play today. Valanciunas over 14.5 rebounds. He's had over 14 rebounds 5 of the last 8 games. Look for him to eat against Pueblo. Billy Brisbane says this is such a stay-away game. Spurs will be the grittier team. Grizzlies more talented. 420 Fuego says Spurs as a dog is tempting. And Dennis Garcia said this is the first time Spurs have had more than 1 day rest since who knows when. And Trotwam did roll with our next spot, which we're going to get into right now. The freshest look. I moved on the Grizzlies -4. I just see them as a much more skilled team. And maybe they're at a coaching disadvantage. But they have so much depth. Dutch Boy Fresh says Grizzlies are 1-4 against the spread last 5 at home, 19-16-1 against the spread for season. Not rushing to bet them. Also, no Spurs have the coaching edge. Dennis Trusty has DeRozan assists over 6.5. Thoughts? Well, he's been the only time he didn't get over that 6.5 down the stretch was when I bet it. Trotwam says I think Memphis is the spot, and Chris Brady says no, Grizzlies going to smash, but off the game. I want to watch this Warriors game. Eric Chang, much love to you, my friend. We move on to the big game on the card, 10 p.m. Eastern. Ooh-wee, Warriors, Lakers. I got in on the Lakers -4.5 and -115. That had moved to -5.5 this morning. This total at 221.5 has moved down to 218.5 and is still dropping at 218. And I like the under here. In the Warriors, Lakers, we arrive. We arrive. Dutch's freshest look. Curry under 36.5 points at -110. Dutch says he's averaging 23 in 3 meetings this year. Playoff. They have 4 or 5 heads to throw at him. The Lakers do. Curry will be mild Wednesday night. Mild Wednesday night. There it is. Po Buddy's nerfing laughing at Grizzlies going to smash bomb off the game. Michael Evelina says, if the Warriors somehow win this game, I hit a 7-leg parlay off $10. Wow. That is a tricky hedge. Michael Evelina, you don't want to push it to this, but you might want to wait and see if you can hedge it live. Polo that says, don't overthink this like y'all did the games yesterday. Lakers are superior to these dubs. It was a pretty simple bet for me. Let's talk about this spot here. Both teams were rolling down the stretch. Over their past 5, Warriors' pace was 12th in the league at 100.4 possessions a game. Lakers were 24th at 98.16 possessions a game. Lakers have won the last 2 meetings by an average of 28.5 points. They defeated the Warriors 117-91 in Los Angeles on February 28th, then beat them up badly 128-97 in San Francisco on March 15th. The Golden State Warriors have won its last 6. Curry, oldest scoring champion since Michael Jordan. Curry at 33 years of age. Jordan did it at 35 and 98. Curry averaged 32 points, 5.5 boards, 5.8 assists. He hit 96 threes in April alone. That is the NBA record. But these defending NBA champions look like they're rounding into form. We don't know the state of LeBron's high ankle sprain, but Andre Drummond has 4 straight double-doubles. And the Lakers have won 5 straight after not winning back-to-back for 6 weeks. I just feel like the Lakers are going to slow this pace down, and I wish I had got in on the under earlier. And I just can't take it now. It's too bad. When did we get it? So it opened at 221 on Monday, 221 and a half. It was there for 10 minutes. And then it goes down to 220 and a half. It's at 220 and a half for an hour to 219 and a half. It's at 219 and a half for 6 hours before it goes to 219. Then it's at 219 until this morning. God, I could have gone on it. Damn. 219, I'd probably pull the trigger. Jacksonville Zoe says the size of the Lakers is a huge problem for Golden State. We don't know exactly how much Drummond is going to play. We don't know if how much he's going to play at the 5 or the 4. But if Drummond's at the 5 and AD's at the 4, I don't know what the Warriors can possibly do to defend AD in that situation. Andy Savage says, I've learned one thing. Betting against Coach Pop and the Spurs has not served me well. An underdog Spurs team in the playoffs that is getting no love is a scary thing. Andy Savage, I hear what you're saying. Kevin Riley on the Lakers at -5. I got him at 4.5. I'll stick with it. Dutch Boy Fresh says Kuzma over 8.5 points, averaging 14.5 3 meetings this year. And Ski Prophet says they can do nothing. That's the situation. If I'm Vogel, I'm coaching the team. I slow it down. I set up Drummond and AD down low. I throw the ball into Drummond or to AD, vice versa. The ball ends up in AD's hands. Drummond's there for the board if AD misses, and I win the game comfortably. And I slow down the game. Trowham says, I think Drummond on the floor will equal to Golden State running. I hear that. Okay. So that's NBA. It's pretty simple for me. No Rocky. It's at Staples Center in Los Angeles. It's a pretty simple situation for me. I just think the Lakers can slow it down and win this game. And I mean slow it down on offense, because if you're coaching the Lakers, you know that they're going to run. The Warriors are going to run like crazy. And Curry's going to try to take quick shots because they know that there's so many different looks that the Lakers can provide. Jacksonville Zoe says no Wiseman, hard to run on made baskets. 420 Fuego looking at AD over 26.5 points. This is going to be so much fun. I will be on the Razor Sharp Picks Thoroughbred show here on Pub Sports Radio. Dutch Boy Fresh will be making an appearance. I know they're going to be live betting it. And Matty I says, what is your best bet totals look on this NBA card if you had a free bet? If I had a free bet on a total on this card, a free bet on a total, If I had a free bet on this total, I would take the first quarter under 56 in the Lakers-Warriors game. First quarter under 56. That's what I would do. And maybe I'd bet that. All right. Good luck, Kev. Drive safe. But I don't know if I need to add anything. I feel pretty comfortable here, and I'm coming off no 1-2 day, down 2.3 units in NBA. Okay, so let's move on to NHL playoffs. Unfortunately, we have one more game that's not playoffs that we have to talk about. Johnny K saying Warriors first quarter. I mean, so much of that depends on whether Curry starts out hot. So much of that. So respect, Nick. Go get it. We head over to NHL, coming off a 1-0 day. Very easy casher on the under 5.5 in the Vegas Wild game. And Billy Brisbane says Discord being on fire. I can't wait to spend more time on it. Arthur Meade Jr. says Canucks team total over. It was Louis Domingue. Domingue was starting for the Flames, which means Markstrom is going to close the season out. Earl Sports says Calgary versus Vancouver. Skip it. Let's go to the real games. Look, I hear you, Earl. But if there's money to be made, we probably should talk about it. And if there was money to be made, it would be on the over 6. But money is moving towards the under 5, or has moved to the 5.5. So I don't want to. I said if Demko was in net yesterday, don't take the over. Now there's 4 goals scored in the last 5 minutes to push the total. And the Canucks took care of business. Jay Vegas says no one cares about this game, especially the defensemen take the over. But the market moving towards the under makes me just want to stay off this game. There's Peanut in the houses. I like the under on both NBAs. I love that, Peanut. I get it. Look, we don't need to talk about this garbage Canucks-Flames game. It's absolute garbage. It's just, how can you talk about it when there's so much exciting hockey going on? So let's just move past it. I'm not going to bet it. But with Holtby in goal, you have to think the Flames win the final game of the year, especially with the Canucks winning yesterday. But Johnny K says the Canucks. Is Holtby being confirmed? If Holtby's being confirmed and the Flames just lost and Sutter won't tolerate that, and it's going to be Holtby in goal, maybe I do actually pull the trigger on the Flames to win the final game of the season. Let's just get over the starting goalies right now very quickly here. So, and I'm sure it's going to be Holtby. So, with that, all that being said, I think the Flames take care of business. Brady says under Flames money line in regulation. It's got to be Holtby. There's no way that they go with Demko back-to-back. So yeah, I'm going to take the Flames to win the last game of the season. I know I said I was going to bet on this game, but there's probably money to be made, especially with Holtby in goal, whom I don't trust. All right, let's move on to the games that matter. We start at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, and I just saw, right before the show started, I saw Brady's tweet on the Capitals, and I was very, very interested. Now, obviously, I've got futures at juicy numbers, 22-1, 16-1 on the Capitals. So I'm not going to move on them, but it gave me hope that he was on the Capitals. 36-15-5, 9-7-2 on the road at the Bruins, 33-16-7, 18-7-3 at home. We are tied 1-1, and we head to TD Garden. Lee Fedorchak also on the Caps money line, and the Avs -1.5. Kevin Riley on the Avs -1.5 as well. Earl Sports is on Washington +155 today. That gives me a lot of hope as well. Capitals 24.8% power play, and it's too bad Kuznetsov is not out there. Health and safety protocol, they've cleared it. They cleared it on Sunday. We are hoping that Kuznetsov gets back for this game. Those of us backing the Capitals, and I don't know what to say about Samsonov. At first, I wanted Samsonov in there. Now, I'm hesitant. It's going to be very difficult to come into a playoff series in the middle of it if you haven't been going full bore for a little while. Johnny K says Bruins and the under. Pub Sports Radio, my man Jose likes Taylor Hall. And Taylor Hall scored his first goal in a dirty area of his entire career, and it was a big one. And then, of course, the overtime winner scored by Brad Marchand, who's just a hell of a hockey player. Craig Anderson has looked good. He's looked good, and he looks in control, and I think I would start him again. I think I would have to start him again here. We got Vitek Vanacek injured, and look, it'd be much easier if I was talking to Samsonov all day. If Ilya Samsonov came into my office and said, put me in net, I will lead us to victory. Then I'd say, okay, Ilya, I'll put you in net. But what kind of a leader is Ilya Samsonov? I don't know. I can't answer that question. Jacksonville Zoe says Caps plus 150 is a good line. Bruins being overvalued. Birdie says Anderson will now be in the rhythm. He played great last game. 2 really bad D-zone turnovers cost them. Caps should have won. They should have. So Zdeno Chara plays as a visitor in the playoffs at TD Garden in Boston for the first time after 73 playoff games there as a Bruins captain. The Bruins also had to play without Jeremy Lauzon, who was replaced on the blue line by Connor Clifton. That's a loss for them. God, can Kuznetsov just be in the lineup? This power play does not look as dangerous as it could without him out there. Brian Watson says Bruins too much juice. Johnny K says Bruins are a tough rink to play in. Let's take a look at the market move here in this spot. This total opening up at 5.5. There's been a really no move. Still under 5.5 minus 118 at Pinnacle. Although the over 5.5 has gone from plus 103 to plus 105, but the under 5.5 stayed at minus 118. From a money line perspective, the Bruins opened up at minus 160. They're now minus 171. An 11-cent move towards the Boston Bruins. Piker. Oh, Piker, yes. And rest in peace to our Shock G. Thank you, G, my guy. So, from a totals perspective, I need to know who's in goal. If it is Craig Anderson, I would have interest in the first period under. Let's just see what that is right now. First period under, and we'll move on. I would have interest in the first period under, and the first period under is minus 120, under 1.5. I do not want to pay that kind of juice. Brady says, look at what Washington does in Boston. It's very one-sided. That is why I'm on them. I'm not talking anyone into following. Caps just win at a 3-1 rate overall versus the Bruins. Okay, let's move on to 8 p.m. Eastern. Nashville Predators 31-23-2, 13-13-2 on the road at Carolina Hurricanes 36-12-8, 23-5 at home. Carolina leads the series 1-0. We're at PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina. And we saw the difference of an arena with fans, 12,000 fans, and they were going crazy for these Hurricanes. Much love to you, Chris Brady. Yes, Jerry Beatty, I am on the under, and I'm looking forward to talk about it. I got minus 125. I'm looking forward to see what kind of market move we're dealing with. Let's talk about this Predators spot. The Predators' 75.4% penalty killing is going to hurt them badly in this series. Hurricanes power play at 25.6%. Dennis Garcia says Nashville, only question first period or full game. And I can understand that. The Hurricanes just played a perfect game one. They're a young squad. They're used to being the hunter and not the hunted. And I'm very interested to see what the Canes do here. I'm not going to bet the Predators under any circumstances. They're 0-11 when losing game one of a playoff series. That doesn't mean they can't win game two and lose a playoff series. But it feels like the Hurricanes played an excellent hockey game. And I want to see them go back, do that again. Jordan Stahl was so good, scored twice. They outshot the Predators 38-24. Usually when you outshoot an opponent to that extent, you dominate possession and then you lose in hits because you have the puck all the time. They out-hit the Predators as well. And Hines moving Eric Goodbranson in the lineup instead of Dante Fabro is a terrible decision. Goodbranson has the worst Corsi numbers in the league. He's a bad defenseman, and he fights when it suits him. He doesn't fight to protect his teammates. I don't like him. And I think he's a waste of a tough guy. And Big Show says, you're dead right there, Jimmy. Canes played very well. They played so well. Jacksonville So says, can I go back to the Hurricanes -1.5? Getting Jacob Slavin back was a huge deal for the Hurricanes. He came back and looked good. They also got Brock McGinn back. I want to see the Hurricanes do that again. They're a better team than the Predators, but the Predators have played pretty well with their backs against the wall. Their backs are against the wall here. And there's no move for me on this game. Okay, let's talk about the spots where I think we can make money. And that's with the Oilers and the Leafs. And I know the Leafs don't play till tomorrow night. I got the Oilers -1 at +104. I think the Oilers learned a ton in that loss to the Blackhawks last year. They opened up at -138. They're now -152. This total is at 6. And it's moved to 5.5 in almost all the books. I love that. But I didn't get on the 6 early enough. I only got the 6 at -125. If you're playing against the Oilers, you have to be extremely conservative when McDavid and Draisaitl are on the ice. And you have to keep it deep, and you have to cycle the puck deep. Focus on cycling the puck deep, keeping it deep, and have only 2 players doing that while the third forward is back. You have to. They're too dangerous. So you have to keep the offense on the perimeter. The other 3 lines coming at you, you have to attack like crazy offensively. And then you got to watch. You know that Draisaitl and McDavid are going to play 25 minutes, and you know they can be separated at times. When they're separated, it's a bit of a different story. You don't need to be as conservative, but when they're on the same line together, you have to be very conservative. You can't take penalties. And you have to protect Hellebuck and keep everybody on the perimeter. That, to me, says under. Also, I know the Jets are getting Ehlers back. The only advantage they have, you could say, isn't even an advantage this year because of how good Mike Smith has played. 2.31 goals against average, .923 save percentage. But Hellebuck is very good. And I know that the 2.58 goals against average, .916 save percentage doesn't probably do it justice as to how good he is. But he's very good. And I love the under, and I love the Oilers here. And unless injuries dictate a change, and Benjamin Mills saying it's Hellebuck's birthday. Unless injuries dictate a change, I'm going to bet the Oilers every game in this series. Brady says, I totally get why folks like the Oilers here tonight. I can speak from experience. Getting extended rest if you are struggling is a great way to get right. Practice can be the great equalizer, but won't bet this one. Dennis Garcia about that Carolina Nashville spot says it was like a home opener for Carolina. They took advantage of everything. Situationally, game 2 is very different. I agree with that completely. There's Fat win in the house. Johnny K says Jets got the depth to beat Edmonton. Johnny K, if you look at the Jets roster, I agree with you. They have depth. But Dubois has been bad. Nikolai Ehlers is coming back from injury. Paul Stastny is a very smart hockey player who's now slow, doesn't skate fast enough. So, yeah, they have more depth than the Oilers. Sure. But we saw what happened to Scheifele at times this year. He was benched. We know that Blake Wheeler is a leader. But, look, I was so heavy against the Oilers nonstop. I've been heavy against the Oilers nonstop for years now. I was heavy against them last year in the playoffs. But something changed watching McDavid and Draisaitl. And something changed seeing Darnell Nurse out there for 25 or 30 minutes a game. Something changed after they got embarrassed by the Blackhawks last year in the playoffs. I just think the Oilers take care of the Jets. And I don't think it's too difficult. Gas Station Sushi saying Blue Jays best bet on the board from our Gas Station Sushi. Ooh-wee. Viper says, I wish you stopped taking the -1 and just take the money line or the -1.5. Oh, God, Von Polo. You saying that in the playoffs? No, I don't need to worry about me in NHL. I've never had a losing season in front of you guys in my life. So don't need to worry about me. And in the playoffs, that's the one time where the -1 is extremely helpful. No, Michael Irvin, I didn't. They were too big of a favorite here. I mean, I could have, and I still could parlay the Oilers to win the series and the Leafs to win the series. That's definitely that's a real. Now that would just be like a, I wouldn't need to publicize that bet because we don't do the parlays, but that bet, it makes a lot of sense to me. Okay, so I'm on the Oilers -1 at +104, and I love that in playoff hockey, Von Polo. If you think that I've made a mistake with the -1s during the regular season, that you can make a valid argument with that, but not in the playoffs. All right, let's go to St. Louis Blues, Colorado Avalanche. We are 3 minutes away from the big Babano and Connor Mack show. Jump over there, MLB best bets. And Brian Watson says White Sox starts in 10 minutes. What's the pick? I stayed off that game, Brian. I can't trust Giolito right now. But if anybody has something here. Brady says, Dennis, we are seeing this one exactly the same way. Winnipeg is getting healthy, had extended rest, and had practice ice for the first time in a long time. Winnipeg or nothing tonight. And Dennis says, I'm torn Winnipeg, but I just don't trust Edmonton in the playoffs. I guess a plus money, it's dog or pass. Lean over, might play one of them. All right, Blues, Avalanche. We all watched it. The Avalanche, to me, looked like the best team in the league. They have to stay healthy. Grubauer has to stay healthy. Grubauer looked awesome, but it was Landeskog. We know Nathan McKinnon is spectacular, but Landeskog, Gordie Howe hat trick, fight, goal, and assist. And I loved what he said afterwards. He said that he didn't think the hit was dirty. He was just standing up for his teammate. And you saw the energy it breathed into this Avalanche. Cale Makar, to me, is the most skilled defenseman in the NHL, and he won't win the Norris Trophy this year because of an injury. He's going to win it next year. And if he doesn't win it next year, he'll win it the year after that. He's the best defenseman, I think, in the NHL. And McKinnon, come on. He's got 22 goals and 35 assists in 41 career games. That's a 1.39 points per game average. That's the fourth highest in Stanley Cup playoff history. He trails Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and I don't even want to say the man's name, but it's Barry Peterson, who the Canucks traded Cam Neely for. Barry fucking Peterson. Jesus. Grubauer looks so good. And we know he's been there and done it. Won the Memorial Cup, won a Stanley Cup. Jacksonville Zoe says, I agree, Jimmy Series price parlay Toronto Edmonton. I'm going to do that. I think that makes sense. I think I'll do that with you. Johnny K says Blues ain't going down without a fight. Tarasenko comes back from his lower body injury. He did hit the post with a snapshot, but he didn't look fast out there. They had 7,700 fans in the arena. They were going nuts. Binnington looks awesome. And he's been there and done that. He didn't have a very good regular season, but he looked awesome. He had a 9-10 save percentage, 2.65 goals against average. He looked awesome. Look, the Avalanche, I think, are the best team in the National Hockey League. They certainly look like they were the best team in the National Hockey League. And I think I'm going to make money off their futures and live happily ever after. So, and look, Makar, Landeskog, McKinnon, Cup. I often said that it was hard for me to imagine the Sedins holding the Stanley Cup over their head. And it was probably an unfair statement. But just the way they played, even though they did something so well. When I watch Landeskog, I see him holding the Stanley Cup over his head. He just plays that way. Gordie Howe hat trick, game 1 of the playoffs. I'm in love with him. I got to get a Landeskog jersey. Okay, that is our show in NHL. No additions for me, except a possible first period under in Caps Bruins. Possible that I'll think longer on. And then maybe I parlay the Oilers and the Leafs in the series win. But under 6 -125 for Jets Oilers. I bet that yesterday. I gave it out yesterday. Oilers -1 at +104. And then I've already bet the Leafs. All right. Much love to you, Ramon Scott. Thank you, everybody, for being here and for your support. I would shout you all out individually, but get over to Babano and C-Mac. Thank you guys so much for watching. But most importantly, Leche, Halos Bookmakers!
Where's the bang bang, Preston? Come on.
I can't breathe.
Pub Sports Radio. Come find us in Southtown 101. Subscribe on YouTube and all platforms where podcasts are found.